Well, knowledge is a good place to start. I like that because I've always enjoyed learning. And one thing I've learned over the years is that in order to be a leader, it's far better to be a generalist than a specialist. As a matter of fact, I'd be willing to say very few specialists are going to be highly successful as leaders. Typically, you're going to need to be a generalist. And what do I mean by that? I mean, you need to learn as much as you can about as many different areas as you can. And the more you do that, the more you're surprised at how you begin to see all these areas relating in different ways. And it's, if I were to have an illustration that made sense, it would be to say, you've got to get the big picture if you want all the little pieces to begin to fit together right. As you get that big picture, then it's amazing how clearly you can see how all the pieces fit together. Like with a puzzle, what do? You get the border first, typically. And then the more pieces that begin to fit, the easier it is to get the rest of them together. So I think the idea of a good broad education, which has historically been true, is the right approach for everybody. And I like to think if I've got the macro patterns and begin to see how all those fit together, then I can deal with all the smaller items much easier. Some people don't want to take the time to do all the rest. They just want to tunnel in and get their area and do it well. But when you do that, you can miss so much outside that's important. Let's take this example. I know a guy who was in the typewriter business. He's very good at it. His company had a typewriter company for years. They sold them, they serviced them, all of that. Didn't pay any attention to what was happening in the bigger world. And as the computers came along, the typewriter business was wiped out, and they lost everything they had with it. Now, they had an interest in the broader world and where things were going with technology, they might have made a transition to a different business, but they didn't do it.